Jackals! 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 Down in Langley late at night, smart old guys that play it right. Captain Fun Bobby leads the charge. Silky Mitts, Johnny Gunshots coming large. Putty in the slot, all the Chris's in a row. Nighthawks battle, it's a 2-1 show. Jackals! 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 Rolling down the line. 10:30 puck drop, leaving sleep behind. Jackals! 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 Every day's Lloyd's birthday here. Whoppers and Fresco raise a cheer. Don't forget a shower beer. Check Pab's beard for lost gear. Jackals, Jackals, rolling down the line. 10:30 puck drop, leaving sleep behind. Jackals, Jackals, Jackals. Langley twin rinks, empty seats, homeless living on the streets. A Chargers hat for tailgating, nachos for the lady bag. Jackals, Jackals, keeping up the flame. Jackals, Jackals, you can't stop the rain. Jackals!
Jackals TV is back after a 1-week hiatus where the Jackals took on the Black Aces in a severe mismatch, so we didn't bother putting out highlights for that 9-0 loss that the Jackals suffered. But we are back here on Halloween night, Friday, October 31st, for the Jackals to take on a new team, the Hornets, who you'll see on the right side of the screen in their Bruins-themed black and yellow jerseys. Jackals on the left wearing their familiar white jerseys. The Jackals will be without many players, being a Friday night Halloween game. I won't list all the players not playing. Let's just stick with the 8 that are. Gary, Jeremy, Aaron, Bruce, Daryl, Bob, David, and Lloyd are the players that make it out. Trevor can't be here to play in goal, so the Jackals were forced to go to the waiver wire and have called up an unknown Michael Briscoe, who answered the call or the call out for any goaltenders that could help you. You see them there stretching and speaking with Lloyd. So we'll see how that goes here tonight. And with that, let's head to the first period highlights. We start this one off with the Hornets on the attack. There's a shot on net, a save, and then there's a backhand weakly that Gary blocks with his foot. The puck's eventually going to come back out to the high slot again, and there's Gary blocking again with the midsection. He's doubled over in pain, moving off to the side. And as he does that, that play's going to come in from the right side and get put over top of Briscoe in net. And it's quickly 1-0 for the Hornets. Hornets on the attack again. They're going to put that puck out front and then put a little backhand pass. That player's going to whiff on it, but it's going to end up on this player's stick, who takes it to his left and then throws it back towards the middle of the net. It goes through Briscoe's 5-hole, and the Hornets have a 2-0 lead. Jackals trying to get on the board. Here comes Daryl down the right side. He's going to hold on to it and then see Jer on the far side. Throw it across to him, but the Hornets goalie deflects it past. So now we're back down on the other end, and there's Lloyd, who deflects that pass through. Aaron jumps on it, heads straight up the gut. The big slap shot. That goalie is a mile out of the net, and it still beats him clean to the glove side. Heck of a shot there by Aaron, and it's a 2-1 hockey game. Just a short time later, offensive zone draw for the Jackals. Daryl wins that cleanly back to David, throws it to Aaron, who just shovels it on net with the backhand, and it finds its way through, and it's 2-2 here in the first period. Face off down in the Jackal zone now. Puck gets pumped back to Bruce, who tries to put it out, but it goes too shallow up the wall. That Hornets player gets it back, and it goes across the crease, misses the guy right in front, but comes to the guy at the far side, and he puts that past Briscoe, and the Hornets have retaken the lead. Hornets again, they bump this puck past Bruce, turning it into a 2-on-1, gets turned into a 3-on-1, which is significant because that passes off that player's skate and it bounces right to that third player coming back, who goes to the backhand, deposits it past Briscoe, and the Hornets have a 2-goal lead again. They're looking to stretch it to 3, throwing that puck out front, and then it's going to bounce around and amongst the legs there. Hornets can't come up with it, but they do regain possession. Try to bring it back out front again here, and then Bruce sends that player flying. Good job keeping the net front clear there to prevent a goal. Now it's time for Aaron to go back to work. Picks up that puck along the wall, throws it on net. He had Jared there in front, trying to tip it. Jared goes behind the net to get it, throws it back out to Aaron, who picks it up on the backhand and moves it over to the forehand to put it up over the goaltender. And a hat trick by Aaron makes this Hornets 4, Hogan's 3. Jackals looking to level this game in this crazy first period. Bob throws a backhand pass from the corner out to Jared. One times it on net, and then tries for the rebound but can't get that. So we go to the second period, still 4-3. And the initial face-off of the period, Daryl wins it forward, goes into the zone with the puck, and it's going to end up along the wall. They'll throw it up the wall, and it's going to get picked off by Bruce, who scoops it on net. Goalie mishandles it, and Daryl's right there to bang away at it. Takes a couple cracks, but he eventually puts it past the goaltender, and we're back to a tie game with almost 2 full periods to go still in this one. Jackals on the attack now. Here comes David from the defensive position. He's going to go down ice to forecheck. Happens off screen, although you can see that player fall just as it pans to the left. David taking that player down and getting called for a slashing penalty there, which is 4 minutes here in the ASHL. Jackals play smart old guy hockey to kill most of this penalty off. A little bit of time left. Here's a chance for the Hornets, but Briscoe gets the stick and toe out there to misdirect the pass. So penalty killed successfully. Still 4-4. Play at the other end. This puck's going to end up right here on David, who's coming in from the point. Shovels it on net. Rebound rattles around a bit there, but the body's in front. Can't find it. The play is still in the Hornets zone, and there's Daryl with a nice pick off of that breakout attempt. Shovels the puck over to Bob in front, who tries to sweep it on net, but can't quite get all of it. It ends up back to Gary on the point. Bob stays in front, gets the stick down on the ice, and tips it past the goaltender, and the Jackals have their first lead in this game. It is now 5-4. Here's David picking the puck up in his own zone, gets hassled from behind, but does end up regaining control of the puck. Cuts to the middle, puts the puck back against the grain up high. Looked like it was off the shoulder, but it gets whistled dead for hitting the goalie in the head just before Bob could get the rebound. So here come the Hornets back the other direction, weaving their way through the defenders, throwing it on net. Nice save there from Briscoe, kicking the toe out. Puck does end up behind the net though, and Briscoe is lost, looking over his right shoulder, and the player just comes out on the left side and a wraparound empty netter, and this game is once again tied. Jackals looking to regain it though. There, Daryl jumps on a loose puck, then walks into the middle and puts it back on the blocker side. Goalie makes a nice save though. Here's a puck that gets cleared up the wall out of the Jackal zone, and Bob jumps in behind the defender, alone, going a little too fast and can't slow up and make a move, and loses control of it into the goalie's legs. Here's Bob again with it, coming out of his own zone, losing control a little bit, and then he tries to move it up to Daryl. Bad pass, but Daryl does well to pick it up, tries to drop it back to Bob, but it's to the wrong side of his body, and so that's going to allow the Hornets to come back the other way, 2-on-2. They do a lane exchange with a little drop pass, and they throw that towards the net, and it gets through Briscoe, and the Hornets have regained their lead here late in the second, taking a 6-5 lead to the third period. And they don't waste any time extending their lead. Here they are on the left side of the ice. That player slips past Gary and then comes in with it and walks right in and finds the top part of the net on the glove side. And we've got a 7-5 lead now for the Hornets. Offensive zone faceoff now for the Jackals. This puck is going to end up coming out front here to Aaron. He shoots it, looking for goal number 4 and groceries for life for some lucky fan. but it misses the net, and then Gary puts it towards the net. A nice tip by Daryl, but that ends up on a Hornets player stick, sends this guy alone on the breakaway, makes a couple of moves, and then puts it home with the backhander, and it's now a 3-goal lead for the Hornets. And the Hornets, they are buzzing now, and here they come, 2-on-1 down the right side, and they're going to find this late player on the 3-on-2, but nice little blocker save there from Briscoe to turn that one aside. Not getting a lot of help from the Jackals in the back check. Remember, they have 8 skaters, but here's where they are helping. A big block by Bruce there as that player just walks in and takes a slap shot from right in front of the net with a 3-goal lead. Here's a 3-on-1 of their own for the Jackals, and Jeremy and Daryl are going to play pitch and catch, but Daryl puts it back to Jer, and he just can't make a connection with it to put it there into the empty net. Hornets have it in the offensive zone again, like they're circling a piece of pork at a barbecue. They're working the puck around the outside, and it's going to eventually end up bumped in front again to this player who pulls it to the backhand and easily deposits it into the yawning cage, and it's now 9-5, and Dolly Parton will be proud. Hornets here with another chance all alone in front. This time it's going to get disrupted, and Jer bumps it up to Daryl, who's going to head up ice with it, delay, and go to the left to create a 3-on-2. He puts it over to Jer, who's right alone in front, shoots, gets his own rebound, and tucks that through the goaltender, and we got a 9-6 game. Jackals still put in some effort here despite being down with so few players. There's Gary with a nice little play, bumps it through 2 people, heading alone in a partial breakaway, tries to pull it to the forehand, but it looks like it gets tied up in the legs of the goaltender, and it ends up staying out, and that's the end of this game, a 9-6 loss for the Jackals. So let's have a look at the stats for the game. Big game from Aaron there, scoring the first 3 Jackal goals of the game. Daryl also with 3 points with the goal and 2 assists, and everybody on the team getting at least 1 point. We'll have a look at what that does to the overall stats. Aaron rocketing up to first place now with a point a game pace, also leading the team in goals now. There's been a lot of change in the Jackals division in the last week or so. Lots of teams moving up and down. So here's the current standings as it is. Somehow the Black Aces remain in the division, but it's just the Black Aces, the Jackals, and the Great Kazoos that are still here from before. We have the Hornets moving down from the division above, and the Minnesota Nighthawks and the Jane Bones Welding moving up to this division. So let's see what that does for the schedule next week. It's a little, again, off the wall and undefined, but the Jackals next play on Monday the 10th against the Black Aces, which is of course ridiculous because this will be the 5th time that those 2 teams have played already, with the Black Aces winning 3 of those by large margins. So we'll see if there will be highlights from that game. We will skip it if it is another 9-0 blowout like it was the last time, but otherwise we will see you for that game. That's it, folks.